Hey, welcome to Calgary Basement Sessions. I'm Ben Price.
And I'm Ben Montgomery.
And we're doing a socially distant thing, but in person. Woo. Today we're talking to Kate Stevens. I was going to say someone else's last name that I know, Kate. I'm like, no, it's Kate Stevens. Kate is a vivacious R&B singer-songwriter based in Calgary, Alberta, and her buoyant stage persona mirrors her heart-on-sleeve lyrical sensibilities. Her latest single, The Reserved and Honest Meant for Me, has received over 30,000 streams across multiple platforms. Stephen has received 3 YYC Musical Awards, including Female Artist of the Year. Passionate about working and advocating for youth, Stevens understands the importance of showcasing the possibilities of young people and music in her community. She currently plays a lead role in numerous music organizations in Calgary and abroad. Her work has encouraged a sense of belonging and the creation of opportunities for youth to showcase and further their musical goals. Welcome, Kate.
Hi.
Can you hear us all the way over there?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's more than 6 feet away. Yeah, that's
That's
It
like-
is
yeah,
way
that's-
more than 6 feet.
yeah.
About like 12, I think.
about 12 feet.
That's what my
yes.
friends have been I'm 6 feet. Like that's a thing people don't really know about me, is that I'm super, super tall.
Right.
And so that's the running gag, is like you have to be one Kate
One
Stevens
Kate away. We're at least 2
So we're
Kates
at least
away.
two.
You've got some Scandinavian blood in you as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's all Dutch. My actual last name is super, super long and very, very Dutch. So
Stevens isn't your last name. It's
no,
stage name.
it's my mom's maiden name. So
We'll bleep it out, but what is your actual name? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was the thing when we were picking the name to kind of go by, and I was like 15, and my mom was like, just use my maiden name, but it sounded a lot like Cat Stevens, so a bunch of people were confused, but now I've just kind of come to terms, and it's a good way for like the older generation to remember who I am, because at shows I'll be like, yeah, like Cat Stevens. They're like, oh, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. The first, when I typed your name into YouTube, Cat Stevens came up, and I was just like, whoa, Kate has really let herself go.
Back in like the 70s with a huge like hair.
Yeah, and the massive beard. I was like, sure, whatever you
I don't
whatever
think
you
that
want.
person's coming to the house.
I've never even heard of a Cat Stevens.
Really?
Yeah, never. No.
I definitely know. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Have you ever been to like Amsterdam or whatever like that, or Holland?
Yeah, when I was littler, and my godparents are Dutch as well, so it's I don't know why, but we're all just very, very tall, happy people, and that's my family.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh,
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with tall, happy people.
no, definitely, yeah, 100%. Right. So let's talk about your music. Right. So you have. Oh, that's our dog
That's
upstairs.
Dash.
We have. All right, Dash. That's enough. You have a single out, Meant for Me.
Mm-hmm.
It's on YouTube. You recorded it with Russell Broom at OCL Studios.
Yeah, so
He produced
Where's that
it as
name
well.
again? OCL Studios.
OCL Studios.
best place on earth, I
Mhm.
swear. Yeah, I got home from Toronto about 2 summers ago, and I wrote the song out there, and I got accepted into the Prophets of Music organization. So one of the deals with that was that we would do a whole studio single, and Russ would produce it, and there's session players, and it was just this huge shebang, and it was so amazing. And I'm working with those boys to this day. So it's been really wonderful to work with them, and I have them to thank for that amazing, amazing song. So yeah.
So you mentioned session musicians as well. You have a band that you play with
Yeah.
as well. Sweet Barry Wine.
We bonded over our love of Cam Bowie. I would die
Bowie.
for that man.
The Bowie. No, we don't see Cam Bowie. We just call him the Bowie.
The
Yeah.
Bowie. Oh,
The
okay.
Bowie.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
didn't know that.
I play with Kyle Tenoff and Cam Bowie. We have like a trio, a session thing that we do a lot, and we just filmed one of the AB spotlights with them at OCL actually, and yeah, Cam and Kyle just bring a different kind of energy to all of my songs that I think that I can't really achieve by myself, which why quarantine was kind of hard. Was like I didn't have my boys, and so, but yeah, we're starting to do some demos for some new projects in Cam's basement probably this week actually.
Wow.
So
In his layer of just swivel and
So
has
many
anything.
things.
Yeah,
his-
he's got like 50 different synths, a lava lamp. I don't know what that man does.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy because we interviewed him. He was like our second or third.
Really?
Second, yeah.
Wow.
Our second podcast, and we interviewed him, and it's just like it's like Star Trek.
He's spinning around. He's like, I got this
Oh.
little thing here. I got this little. This just came in.
I know he plugs wires into stuff, and Kyle and him will be talking about like I love music theory because it is kind of like the core and base of what we do, right? And so it's good to know your keys, it's good to know the kind of Nashville number system, but they'll be like, oh, it's a dominant minor and you have to do this, and I'm like, it just sounds really cool.
It sounds awesome.
I just nod, smile and nod.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Smile and wave, boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smile and wave. Yeah. You can just play any chord and just say, it's a jazz chord. What the hell? It's a jazz chord.
Add a seventh, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Amazing. So the guy that directed the music video for Meant for Me, what was his name?
I worked with
Real Barrios.
Real Barrios. They're a production team out of Calgary, and it's Levy and John and Delaney and Aaron. So it's people I actually know from school. So they're in the TV program at SAIT, and I'm in the radio program at SAIT. So they were like, "Hey, do you want to do a music video for your song?" And I was like, yeah. So we did it at Neverland Studios down in Inglewood, and we filmed for like 2 days, and it was my first ever music video. So it was really amazing to do with people that I love and I trust. You know, it felt really, really wonderful to do that there. So yeah, that was the music video.
That's awesome. You mentioned you were in the radio program at SAIT.
Yeah.
So for radio
broadcasting?
Yeah, radio broadcast. So I'm going into my second year in September. And yeah, I mean, I love all aspects of radio. I love public radio for sure, like CJSW or CBC, and how they showcase local artists. And that's kind of my mission when I go into radio is to do a lot of music director stuff and just kind of go on air and talk about how important community is, you know, when it comes to local musicians.
What better program during a pandemic than radio?
Exactly. That was the thing. We have 3 different streams. So we have radio broadcast, the one that I'm in, and then we have we call them BNs, which are broadcast news, and so they're the anchors, they're the face of the station, great teeth, great hair, and then the TV kids, and so the TV kids film the whole thing, so they're like one of the most integral parts. But the problem is that the TV kids use like $20,000 cameras, whereas the radio kids, this is kind of my setup in my basement.
Yeah.
So
I need at least a $40 mic and I'm good to go.
Exactly.
Radio host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your degree.
Here's a degree. Illegally download Logic and you're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got Logic. We can just give you it right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk after.
Yeah, we'll talk after. Yeah. Bye. So tell us about your YYC Music Award winnings. You've won 2, Female Artist of the Year and Zachariah and the Prophets Memorial.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of got it started with Prophets of Music, was that Memorial Award. And then last year I got R&B Recording of the Year, and then this year I'm nominated for 6. So
6?
Yeah.
Do you know them all? Can you list them?
That's a great question, Ben.
I'm so glad you asked.
I'm so glad you asked. I know it's so... I did a collaboration this year with Ellen Doty. She's an Edmontonian musician, and we worked with the Mustard Seed and Monogram Coffee. We wrote a whole song to kind of just raise money for people who are experiencing homelessness, and that was the song that we entered into like inspirational category, and then we entered it into Songwriter of the Year. So I'm competing against myself in Songwriter of the Year category. Unfortunately,
Perfect.
It's me and then Ellen and me, and I guess. And yeah, I'm just so excited. Like. It's a great way to showcase local talent in the city, and it's a great just kind of celebration, right, of you're getting acknowledged by your peers, which I think is super important, because our Calgary music scene is so vibrant and there's so many people of so different genres and stuff. It's great to showcase that, you know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, that was the idea we had behind this, for sure. You know, is to showcase as much talent that Calgary has to offer, and Alberta as well, you know, because there is an unbelievable amount of talent here, you know, and music wise and stuff like that. It's really, really fantastic. You know, country music is massive over here, of course.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really quite eye opening coming over, because I've been here it'll be a year.
Only got a year left.
I know, yeah. It'll be a year on the 12th of August. I'll be
Wow.
here. Yeah, I know.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
A year
And
left.
what happens?
I know, yeah. I get
Don't
sent
tell anybody. That's what
I know,
happens.
yeah. I get sent back home. I'll just hide under the couch. Like
Yeah,
natural
he'll
for,
interview you from under the couch.
Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone I'm here.
No, yeah, like country music is wild over here. Same thing with like folk and roots and that kind of style, which is like crazy to see, because going into the music scene, that was kind of my main focus when I was just starting. I was like about 13, 14. And I was trying to go the girl with the guitar, really cute, kind of doing the Stampede, that kind of route. And then I discovered 10 at 10 at Calgary, and I discovered all these amazing, like Haven at Coy, just amazing places where R&B and jazz is really, really kind of spotlighted and kind of showcased. So it's crazy to see that there are a million different genres here in Calgary. And it's great to just, just explore and figure out which one you're interested in,
Yeah.
I don't come from the music community in like the sense that I'm a musician, but I've worked in theater and backstage quite a bit. And I was surprised to see the amount of other genres of music in Calgary, because to me, like, it's all country. That's what people play here. In Edmonton, maybe you'll get some other kinds of, even rock or whatever. But in Calgary, there's quite a few, and we've had a lot of them on the show. It's been really eye-opening.
And that's a great
sense.
community
100%.
too, right? Like, they are very supportive of each other, and like I haven't met a single country artist that is just like, they go to every single show. Like, they go to every show. They're out every night. They're so hardworking, right? And it's hard though, because coming from Calgary, they're the ones that are kind of really showcased too, and that's why it's so important to feature, so people of color, and it's so important to showcase just other kinds of musicians, because like genre right now is so fluid, when it comes to like, well, what are you, you're like, well, there's influences from this and this, so that's what's really cool and to experience with like different genres and different musicians, is to kind of figure out what sound you like and grow from that. So
Definitely, yeah. So maybe that's like, so you played at the Canadian Music Week in Toronto in 2019
last year, which was, I was gonna go this year, but there's a little thing going around, so.
I don't know if you've heard.
I don't know,
there's a pandemic,
some
COVID happening,
a little bug going on,
cheeky bug going around,
cheeky wee germs in there, cheeky buggers. So tell us about Canadian Music Week, because I've played at Canadian Music Week, I think maybe 2016, 17 possibly. I loved it.
It was it's so good, so good. I was so exhausted, oh my god. But I was on like the GO train to my hotel, and I ran into Liam Prost, who works with Folk Fest. He's a great guy. He's one of my pals, and we like saw each other and we connected for the festival. So I was like, I don't know anybody here, please help me. And so I saw him, and then I met Will Holloway-Chuck and Ian St. Arnaud. So that kind of was my cohort for the festival, and we went to almost every show and stuff, and every conference, and I just tried to absorb everything. And then I got home, and we were talking to them, and they have an artist collective called Soaring Eagle, and I'm a part of that artist collective right now. So they're really great. They're my kind of management team / dads / everything. So I'm really, really stoked to be working with them. And Matt Ola is a part of that too. So yeah, they're my boys. And I got to play the Painted Lady in Toronto, which was an amazing experience. It's a great club. And I played with some musicians out there who are really big in the gospel and church scene. Wow. So it was so amazing to play with them and have that different kind of experience of, they really know how to make so much out of just, there's three players, right? So it just sounded so full and so warm. So I was really, really spoiled for that show, and it was a great experience just being out in Toronto again. So.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah. Well, Toronto was playing Canadian Music Week was my first experience of Canada.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I just fell in love with Canada. Like, as soon as I arrived, as I've said to many people, just lived off doubles and poutine. So what is there not to love? I really did enjoy it. But like, people were saying, listen, if you like Toronto, you need to go out to like Vancouver and Montreal, Calgary, and that sort of thing. So
if you love Toronto, you'll sure like the rest of Canada.
Toronto's kind of our discount New York, like a lot of things happen there.
I've
New
heard
York
that.
light.
It's basically. And then it's like Toronto, then the next step is like Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then like, who knows after that, honestly.
Saskatoon, yeah.
The booming metropolis.
Yes, Saskatoon.
Actually, Shelby and I are just back from Vancouver. We arrived back on Saturday there.
Wow.
We loved it. It was really, really cool. Yeah, we stayed in quite a dodgy part, Ken, but it was not too bad. It was East Hastings.
See, it confuses me because I lived in Vancouver for 3 years, and he said, we're staying in Gastown, and I was like, oh, that's very fancy.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Oh my god.
How are they were? I think you were lied to.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, this is Gastown.
Like this a sign is like hanging off of the door.
It's a gas station, maybe.
Oh, okay.
No, Vancouver's great. I'm such a prairie person though. Like I adore the blue skies. I have to have the sun. So Vancouver for me is very humid and it's very wet. And I love when things are really dry and hot. That's kind of my.
See, I love the opposite. I loved the humidity in
really?
Vancouver. Yeah. What took you out to Toronto? Were you going to school?
I did the Canada Music Incubator program. Oh. So I did CMI out there about 2 years ago. Actually, like 2 years today, we were out there. Wow. So it was in August. It was like from August to like October-ish, like that kind of stretch. And yeah, I got to work with a bunch of different musicians that I'd never worked with before. The Coalition program is just like life-changing. So if there's any artists listening, I definitely recommend signing up for it. I know they do one out here at the NMC. But get out to Toronto. Like I had the opportunity to do the one out here, but with Calgary, it's a small, big city, like everyone kind of knows everybody. Yeah. Everybody's written a song about everybody. But yeah, so it was amazing to go out to Toronto. I lived in like a shoebox apartment, like little tiny place, but it was so good. It was such a good experience.
And are in debt now for the rest of your life.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, it was great though. I was like living out. I was walking everywhere. I like was so skinny and cool, and like, but it was just like amazing to just like be out there and work with those musicians, and I'm so grateful for it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, since you're in debt, you can take as much coffee as you want.
Thank you. I will. That's going in my purse.
Take the pot. Just take
the whole French press.
Yeah. The water, you can the mugs as well, so whatever you need.
That's been the craziest part with quarantine. I lived into my artist trope of being a barista, of course. Like that was kind of my first couple jobs. So with my sister being home, I would make like lattes in the morning for us and stuff. But now she like craves it. Now she'll be like, I want the bean, and I'm like, I'm doing stuff. So
I want the bean.
I know it's awful. Just like crave the bean. Like, Emily, please. So
calm down. Thank you.
It's a weird time for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you're an artistic director for Youth Musician of Music Mile Alliance.
Yes, sir. Yo, mama.
Very hard to say pretty fast.
Yeah, so...
I'm sorry. I'm glad he brought that up because the way it's written here, it's Youth Musicians of Music Mike Alliance.
Music Mike.
It's a typo.
Music Mike.
Big
Who's
Music
Mike?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Just some guy.
Just some
That's
guy.
a guy who has an alliance for music.
You know Mike? Big Mike?
You know,
Music
like,
Big Music Mike?
Big Music...
Big Music Mike, aye. He's a laugh.
No, yeah. I mean, like, when I started it, I was about 15 or 16, and it was really hard kind of, making your own in the music scene here because all the clubs are 18 plus. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of a place where we could go, and it was for other youth for music. Sorry, I'm getting all over the place. My coffee is just starting to kick in. I'm like vibrating now. No, it was just kind of an alliance for other younger musicians to find solace in, talk to other musicians and play like the youth jams and kind of connect and just our whole platform was connection, education, and performance. So it was kind of talking to kids about how to perform in the studio, how to do the right mic test on stage and stuff. So that's a lot of things that I think younger musicians aren't learning right now. Like music is like half the battle. When you play a song, awesome. You have to talk about marketing. You got to talk about, your release strategy. You got to talk about how TuneCore waits like 3 days before it actually uploads your song, which sucks.
Yeah. But no, I agree with you. Yeah.
Oh, it's so hard. I remember when I released one of my first singles, I told everyone it's coming out on Saturday. Came out on Tuesday. Yeah. So
God damn it.
And it was just so hard. Like, yeah, I was just kind of like, no one tells you this stuff, right? So it was kind of just a place to just spread knowledge. And I think the biggest thing about our music scene here is that everyone's gunning for, a piece of the pie, but we just got to make the pie bigger. That's the kind of biggest thing is like there are opportunities. Let's just kind of enjoy them and share them collectively.
Yeah.
My friend Jeff has the best saying about that if the water rises, all boats float.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
I hate when he says it.
And
I'm not going to tell him I said it here, so if he hears it,
Jeff,
I'll never hear the end of it.
If you're listening, you know what to do.
Yeah,
you know what to do. So you talking about pie? We talked about apple pie. We talked about raspberry pie.
Pumpkin pie, baby.
Pumpkin pie.
Bro, I'm a Libra. I'm October babies. That's my
pumpkin pie. First time I tried pumpkin pie was here, by the way.
Really?
Yeah,
did you do anything when you lived in Scotland?
No, all I did was eat haggis and black pudding.
Oh my
That's our life back home.
Which is terrible. Terrible.
One of my friends in school, actually, she's from Dublin, so her parents moved here probably when she was about 7, so her accent is still there, but it's not like fully formed. But when her like parents talk to her, you can hear it, and like she like talks about it all the time, and like she'll come home from like going to like there for Christmas, and like I was like, I can't understand a word you're saying.
You should hear him call his dad on Saturdays. It's impossible to understand. They could be talking about us, we don't know.
Yeah. Like, all right, how you doing, Kenny? Are you going for a pint, Kenny? It's literally just mumbling. Yeah,
so
it's just mumbling. Yeah.
That was my sister. She goes to school in Toronto, and 2 of her friends are Scottish or Irish.
Can't tell.
One of those people.
But she was on FaceTime with them, and then from like the off screen, you can hear like, "Come help your dad feed the cows," and like, and I was like, "What's going on?"
What?
Come help your dad help the cows,
I know, yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, that's.
I love it.
Strange.
You know what? Like, I phone my family. Like, I try to phone my family every week. Anyway, sorry, Dad, I haven't phoned you
If it
in a
weren't for
while.
Shelby, he would never call.
Yeah. But yeah, every time I phone my parents, they're like, "Oh, you're losing your accent. you're picking up a Canadian accent." And I'm like, "No."
Nothing wrong with that. Sorry.
No,
That's the thing. I don't think we have an accent, and then I like hear some people talk. Like we had to do a bunch of screen tests for school and stuff. And one of my good friends, Briggs, she's a jock now, but she was in Newfoundland, which she was doing her practicum, and she's a Newfie, and so she came home and she has this really weird kind of like. It's this mishmash between like how you doing and like it's just very very deep and low and long vowels, just weird.
Newfoundland. Well,
Welcome to Newfoundland.
If you ever go to Aberdeen or Shetland Islands, you will not have a clue what they're saying. I have no idea what they're saying, and they're 3 hours away from where I stay. Yeah, it's just mumble jumble nonsense. Yeah, I remember I asked for directions in Aberdeen, and I was just like, okay. Bye.
And that's the thing, like I have a bunch of family that lives out in Quebec, and like when they come home, it's very very like harsh, like it's the Quebecois accent where it's like, hey, like c'est quoi, like
why are you mad at me?
And it's just like they'll talk and it's so fast, and I'm sitting here and I know that they're talking about me, but like you can hear it. And like we picked up these things where instead of saying like what or like pardon, it's always like say So it's awful, and I would do it at work, and people would be like, "You can't do that." And I was like,
we are going to get so much hate from Scottish people and from Quebec people,
French Canadians.
Yeah, French Canadians. Yeah, we're going to get
we love you all. We just can't understand what you're saying.
We're going to get a bundle of hate
big
now.
fans.
Yeah,
but like,
big fans, but
it's hard.
We're going to come to the end here. We're just about at 25 minutes, but I have to, because all of these things happened like a couple of years, like you started so young.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you now?
I'm 20.
20. So you're still really young. I remember 20.
The big 2-0.
The big 2-0.
Big 2-0.
Wow.
Like you must have known that this was going to be your track when you were even younger. I
mean, like,
you were born and you're like, I'm going to be a musician.
Well, when I was born, I was very young.
Right.
And
course.
everything just kind of went up from there. But no, I remember my sister's a classical flautist, and Emily's a big deal. Emily's famous. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
And so
but she's going to school for something else right now.
No, she went to Glen Gould in Toronto, and now she's going to McGill for her master's in flute performance.
She's very,
so Emily has a lot of pieces of paper in her name.
Is it has flute? She's playing.
She plays. I don't.
So not prepared for this.
She's been home and she's been practicing the piccolo and the flute, so my brain is kind of fried all the time.
It's never good when a successful sibling is not the most successful sibling. Like that family is just so successful.
Well, that's the gag, though.
Damn.
My mom couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, but she tries, and we just don't understand where it came from. So we're either the milkman's daughters or we don't know.
Wow.
But but yeah, I've known I want to do this forever, and I don't see myself doing anything other than music or media, right? Like it's just kind of my passion. And I remember being 2 years old, and my sister was in like a talent show for like church or something, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do something. So I tap danced and like lip synced Lollipop, but of course, being like a 2-year-old.
Oh, people eat that up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my. Watching the video back, I was like, your form is sloppy. You know, just
no one cares. Like so adorable,
so cute. And I'm like, oh god. But yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing, like. my mom has been my biggest supporter for everything, and her thing was like, if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do something. So she supported us. Like we did music lessons, we did theory, we did everything,
Very
and
European.
I did speech arts, like just the whole shebang, and that kind of bred me to who I am today. But I found a uke at a garage sale when I was about 13 or 12, and we took it home. It gathered dust, and then my sister's best friend came over and just started like ripping on it, and I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And then I did. So I just found some chords online and then put the songs that I was writing to my chords, and that kind of was how I started performing and started doing that. And then I would go to jams, I'd go to open mics at like Koi and play those stages and stuff. And yeah, that was just kind of my catalyst. And I'm so grateful for every opportunity I've ever had that's kind of made me who I am. And as cliche as that is, but it's kind of, yeah.
We
That's
love the cliche.
Yeah, that's fantastic. No, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Before we go, we forgot to mention,
What did we forget to
you have an EP coming out later this year.
Yeah,
Tell us about
so we've started doing tracking for it, and it's been very nice because I'm happy now. So for a hot minute there, I wasn't writing too many songs just because I was so enamored and with this boy and stuff, and it's been so funny to like look back on my songwriting and you write a song and then you listen or look at that song and you're like, that's exactly how I was feeling. Okay, thank you, Pastor Kate. But with this one is like, no, I know exactly how I'm feeling, and I feel really good. So the whole EP kind of is basically just really, really positive songs about just that feeling when you're with somebody and it just feels comfortable. It just feels nice and warm and like you've been there before. So we've started tracking for it, and hopefully next year is kind of our strategy.
Next year.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Have you got like a title or for the EP at all?
I mean,
Yeah.
like all of the songs are very, very just kind of, they talk about warmth, so something nice.
Nice.
Something
nice.
warm.
And are you tracking it at OCL as well?
Yeah, we'll be doing it. Well, we're trying to do all the demos in Cam's basement because, you know, he's one of my favorite
Of course,
people.
Why not?
Yeah.
Kyle's going to be so mad. He's going to be so pissed that I talked about Cam this entire podcast.
It's not
Who's
Cam,
Kyle?
it's the
Who's
buoy.
Kyle?
the buoy.
The buoy.
Lightning fingers or
the buoy
the
basement.
dazzling eyes. of
Lightning
King-
fingers.
I
buoy?
forget what they have
Oh,
so many
boy.
nicknames for him. Or Cam Droid because he's actually a robot. That's,
Cam, he is a robot.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, he is a robot. Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be tracking those soon, and yeah, it was great. I had a wonderful co-write with Robert Adam, the Rhinestone King of Cowboys of Calgary, and so many titles to that
Wow.
man's
I thought
name.
that was Glenn Campbell.
Glenn Campbell. And yeah, and it's been nice to just kind of write and feel that kind of that comfortability and that warmth, you know. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. We can't wait to.
Now we're probably going to screw this up, but if you're listening on a podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you're listening.
Hold on, I've got bullet points there.
Oh, look at that.
Right. Okay. So you go first.
Okay. If you're listening to the podcast, you're going to hear some tunes right now. You heard one at the beginning, and you're going to hear one right now. Isn't that right?
No, no. One.
See, I told you I'm going to screw it up.
is
no.
this live?
No.
No, you're gonna hear one song in the podcast
Right.
at the end,
Right.
right?
And then on YouTube,
on YouTube,
you got to tune in on Thursday.
yes. So the podcast video will be released on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast audio and a song
So
on YouTube will be released on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And a bonus song will be released on Friday or
Right.
Saturday. Okay?
So what we're getting at, follow us on YouTube.
Yeah, follow us on YouTube and listen to our podcast. And we're on Instagram at YYC
Facebook.
and YYC Basement Sessions. Kate, tell us where we can find you online.
Yeah, you can find my Instagram at Kate Stevens Official. Everything else is Kate Stevens Music, Spotify, you know, Apple Music, wherever you consume your streams. I'm on there. YouTube, whatever your heart desires. So just all Kate Stevens, and yeah, come follow me. Likes are a social currency, you know. Just
Right?
Mm-hmm.
hit me
Those
up.
likes and follows.
100%. Kate, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. This is our first one.
Could you
know?
tell?
You're killing it.
First one in person.
First one
Yeah,
in
We did,
person.
what was it,
20.
like 20
Online.
online.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're our
Jeepers.
first live in person. So
First
Well,
live person.
first live person we've had.
Yeah.
You know,
Usually-
I'm honored to be here.
Usually they're, a bit like,
We had 19
border.
real people and Cam Bowie.
And Cam's a robot. He's gonna listen to this and just be like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God,
It's
Kate."
not Cam Buoy, it's the Buoy.
The
Sorry.
buoy.
All right. Let's hear some tunes, shall we?
Yes.
Hey, thanks for watching that full episode of YYC Basement Sessions. We hope you're enjoying all the music.
Yes, please follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click that bell to get notifications from us.